Welcome to Slasher Sunday. So I've been going through and rewatching some 2018 films, and this is one of the ones I wanted to watch. And because it's slasher, there you go. I got to do a slasher. Sorry I missed last week, but I've been really trying to knock out these 2018 films as much as I can for that proper year-end list. I've pretty much watched everything I'm gonna watch. I only have like one left to watch, which doesn't come out till Monday night. So whatever, I'll get to that. But yeah, so I had the pleasure of meeting Damien and David at at Mad Monster Party, and it was really cool because Damien had recognized me. You know, Damien, the fucking director here. I act like we're best friends or something, but Damien Leone, okay. Yeah, he recognized me from across the joint because he used my review for his movie when I did a spoiler-free review on this. He recognized me from that review and came over and thanked me personally. So that was really cool of him. And what's funny is that David is the guy who plays Art the Clown. He's very unintimidating in person. he's kind of nerdy. He's very scrawny, but I feel like that's actually a testament to how well he portrays this character. Because, like, I met Kane Hodder when I was there, and I met Tyler Mane when I was there, and these guys are big dudes, and they feel like they could beat you up outside of their costumes. And David does not at all. And I don't know, because of him being able to embody such menace in this film with his stature is even more impressive than somebody who's, you know, a massive dude. So it was cool getting to meet them in person, and as I said, it actually kind of made me appreciate his performance even more. I mean, I got to watch the guy sing fucking Queen drunk at the bar, so there's, you know, not much less intimidating than that. So, all right, let's talk about the movie itself. Since I did spoiler-free before, let's get into the spoilers of this film. We start with a little close-up on a small TV. I guess this is Art the Clown's personal television that he watches there. He's tuning in on his past victims. And I think they're trying to make it seem like this is the chick from All Hallows Eve. I can't remember what happens in that, so I don't know if he mutilates her face. It's been years. I was gonna watch it before this, but it's getting late, and I wanted to get this done tonight. Otherwise, I wasn't gonna get it done again. But yeah, I mean, big twist, right? It's the girl from the ending, and then this bitch is on the phone with whoever, and she's like, "Kill me if I look like that." Whatever, and then she gets her face mutilated, which I thought was great. I think it would have been even better, and I may have missed that she was still alive, but she looks pretty damn dead to me. But I think it would have been even funnier if she mutilated her face and kept her alive. So hopefully she was still alive, because that would have been the irony, right? But it looked like her face, like she was dead. I didn't see any breathing. I'd have to go back and look now. I don't think she's alive, but I hope she is. Like, that's fucked up to say, but for the sake of the film, the irony of what the scene is, I just think it would be great. When you meet someone like that and you're this voice on television and you're trying to, you know, give this message out, blah, blah, it's like, no, you don't go back there and become two-faced like that. She had one hell of a face at the end of this. But yeah, and then she laughs and we get the title card. Great opening. What a great opening. The effects on her face are good. The only issue I had with it was the eye. I don't know what that was supposed to be. It looked like it was like almost, you know, robotic or something. It didn't look natural or, you know, organic. It was weird. It looked like it had like a lens on it. I don't know. So it's not a bad thing. It's just, I was looking at it, I was like, wow, the face looks really good. It's just the eye looks weird. I feel like they could have just done the makeup around and she could have just had one of her eyes. But I don't know. Anyway, and now the whole like introduction to Art when he comes in, and then he comes into the joint there in the pizzeria or whatever, and he's sitting across from her, and she's already scared by her. Tara's like telling this chick like, stop it, I don't want anything to do with this guy. And her friend goes over and sits on his lap, and she's taking selfies, pulls his hat off. She's being a bitch, but he's being an asshole, so it's kind of like they're offsetting one another. But her friend is clearly terrified of this guy. I know that her friend is trying to show her there's nothing to be scared of, but clearly it's not working. But yeah, her friend's an asshole. And just that whole stare down and the way that's where Art really, where David comes in, because obviously he's not the guy who played him in the first one. And I think this is where he really takes command of that role, where he comes in and he shows you how creepy he can be. And he sells that so well. He's such a physicality to his, presence in this. And I said this in my spoiler-free review, but you can't just, because a lot of people look at this and go, it's just makeup. He just looks creepy, so anybody could do that. Bullshit. This is a very tough role. What he's doing here is acting, and it is very good acting, because he can only act with his, with his body, with his movements, and it's very impressive stuff, especially later on when he puts on the skin suit and whatnot. That's great physicality there. But yeah, I just love the whole stare down. It's one of my favorite scenes from the film. It kind of gets burned into your memory of what he looks like. You get such a good look at him. And then he gets kicked out of there for making art on the wall, literally. And he goes and he buys her a ring and puts it on her finger and like near proposes to her, which I don't know. I mean, is this him having some kind of physical attraction to her? He seems to be fixated on her and her alone. She's a beautiful girl. I mean, all the girls in this movie are beautiful, but he just seems to be fixated on this girl specifically. And he does. He gives her a ring and he doesn't seem to pay any mind to anyone else. Although later in the movie we get the cat lady, and he seems to be swayed and duped a little bit by the mom act. I think this is kind of a throwback to Friday the 13th Part 2 with Ginny's psychological stuff that she does on Jason there. But yeah, he seems to definitely have some kind of fascination or affinity for her. I'm not sure what, though. As I said, I don't know if it's a romantic thing, and then when she kind of rejects him, I don't know, it feels like he's showing off to her. Like he grabs her friend and he ties her up, and he performs this trick, and he puts like circus in her lap, and I almost feel like, I feel like he's peacocking for her. And it's in his morbid, sick way. Obviously, it's not something that you're, flirting with a girl is not chopping her fucking friend in half. But in his mind, maybe it is. I don't know. I was watching that scene like, I wonder if this is Art's attempt at, flirtation. That is a serious failure. And yeah, so she calls her sister, then she has to piss, so she goes into this building. She's so afraid of this guy, but then she goes into this building with no one else, with some strange guy who takes her into the back of a building into a bathroom. And she feels like no fear towards this guy at all. I don't know. I mean, maybe. He doesn't seem like a bad guy by any means, and I'm fine with that. It just was like, as scared as she was, you think she would be paranoid to the point where she's like, why is this guy following me all the way into the bathroom? But he goes in there to check for rats and whatnot, so it does make sense. It's just like, I don't know. You would think she'd be a little more hesitant, but yeah, it's fine. It's not a knock or anything. It's not a nitpick. It's just, I would think, in her state of mind. And then, we get the pizzeria guys, and one of them gets their head turned into a jack-o'-lantern, which is the second jack-o'-lantern head carving that I've seen this year, but this one predates Halloween's by a good amount. Admittedly, the one in Halloween does look a little better, but you're talking about budgets. And I liked the way that the fire was lit in the eyes, though. I thought that was cool. The one in Halloween. It's funny. I can definitely see Art the Clown taking time to carve out someone's face and making it into a jack-o'-lantern. I sure as fuck cannot see Michael Myers doing it. Like sitting, like, imagine that scene. Imagine that scene, Michael Myers. I guess spoilers for Halloween 2018 if you haven't seen it. You're watching Slasher Sunday. I hope you've seen fucking Halloween 2018 by now. But imagine Michael sitting there carving someone's head out. I don't know. Yes, Michael can be playful at times. He throws on Bob's glasses over a sheet for pretty much no reason. But I don't know, just him sitting there carving. But Art, absolutely, I can see doing that. All right. And then he cuts that guy's hand off. If you also want to see another cool high body count, much higher than this one. Holy shit, that one has like 100 fucking kills. It used to be hard to find. I don't think it is anymore. I think it's got like a decent release now that you can pick up on Amazon or something. But once upon a time, this movie, 100 Tears, which I should cover on the channel. I think I have it. I should have it. But yeah, 100 Tears, another killer clown slasher flick. That's a good slasher movie that I need to cover on this channel. Just thought of it right now, but kind of reminds me a little bit. That's just pure body count. There is like 100 fucking kills in that movie, and almost every one of them's on screen. So track that down. It's pretty recent. It's within the last like decade, 10, 15 years. It's a fun one. It's not as good as this one, because this one actually has better atmosphere, and it's actually a better movie. The other one's just kind of all kills, but it's still a fun time. Anyway, that's not what we're talking about. Where the hell was I? I thought it was... Oh, then he stabs the guy's fucking face 100 times, and then when it gives the close-up and the tongue's like flicking off this tongue thing, made me laugh out loud. Pretty funny stuff. I thought it was really funny. This is just this nitpick. My brother was like, Jason, shut the fuck up. But when the girl's sitting in the car and she's waiting for, her friend to get out of the bathroom, this is Halloween night from what I can tell. I mean, maybe it's like a Halloween party before Halloween, although the movie before this is All Hallows Eve, which is Halloween. And it's like 1 a.m. because she calls her sister and she's like, I have to be up in 5 hours, which I would have guessed would be like 6 o'clock in the morning or something. So it's like at least 1. They're leaving the bars and whatnot late. No one's on the street on Halloween, so it's got to be really fucking late. And there's an ad playing on the radio for a Halloween costume store. Why would that costume store be promoting its business at 1 a.m. on Halloween? Like, you would think they would not pay for that. Like, the nitpick. This is stupid. Trust me, I get it. It's not a knock on the film at all, but just listen to that. I'm like, why would you be promoting it? No one's buying a Halloween costume tomorrow, and no one's coming there. You ain't open. Now, if they were like, the day after Halloween, we're going to have a 50% off sale. As I said, nitpicks, small, stupid shit. But I just thought it was funny. And I like that when Tara meets the girl, the cat lady outside with the doll and whatever, she doesn't like all her crazy. She doesn't overreact and get scared and walk away. She plays along with it. She's like, I got to go pay the rent. It's due, today on the 1st, whatever, and I'll be late. I thought that was really smart of the character. There's a lot of smart decisions from characters in this that I love to see, that I'm always like, please, because this is one of those things. I'm like, just play along. Like, it's fucking stupid for you to be like, no, I'm not going to do that or whatever. Like, don't do that. Just play along with them. Let them think you're going to do it. Really sell it. Don't get scared. Don't show it. I know it's hard, but I like that kind of stuff. There's another one. I'll bring it up here in a minute. Then he stabs her in the legs a whole bunch of times. I was like, oh man, that's gnarly. So she definitely would have some hard times walking or running from that point on. And then we get the kill of kills, the kill of the year. I don't know of any kill this year that's going to top this one in my mind. I can't remember any, but man, I remember when I saw this. This is that one everyone remembers. This, no matter what, you see this and it sticks with you, man. Just total hatchet, not hatchet, a hacksaw I told my brother, I was like, uh-oh, this movie's about to turn into Hacksaw Ridge. He just takes it and he just carves it right down. And I love that he never fully halves her. It gets to just the tip of the head and the body stays open. And it's just graphic enough. I know there's some people who are like, oh, that's just too much, too over the top. For me, it could have even went more and I'd been fine. But I think it's just perfectly gory. It's perfectly graphic. Like, you see it, it's in the vagina, you see it through the ass for the first thing, which is just gnarly. I think is actually one of the, more graphic parts of it. And then from there, you get to see it kind of split a half and then, all the way to the head and he stops. I also love that he comes back and takes a selfie with her again. Like, this is on my terms now, bitch. You don't look as good as you did. I wasn't smiling last time, but I sure am smiling now and you aren't. Yeah, I do. I love that. I love that he takes a selfie with her there. But yeah, that scene is just great. And it's, it's a breath of fresh air for slasher fans who have went to countless fucking movies in the last X amount of years. And these watered down, cutaway bullshit kills that you get from Hollywood. And I get it. You're, fighting against the MPAA and whatnot. But it's nice. It's vindicating for people, like us that do like the gore, that do want to see the kill on screen, who remember the glory days of the slasher when shit was fucking, getting really graphic on screen. Friday the 13th, Part 4 and stuff like that. The Burning, when we used to see these close-up graphic effects before the MPA, Roger Ebert and freaking Siskel, and it was bullshit where people were revolting against it and pulling them from the theater and cutting them to nothing. It's nice again to be able to have lower budget film like this pull off some really fun, effective kills. Because that's a lot of the times what happens is a lot of the lower budget films go for the gore, but they can't really pull it off. But so whoever was hired on for this did a really great job on the effects. Do they look ultra realistic? No. For ultra realistic gore this year, watch freaking Lowlife. Holy shit. You want to see realistic gore? I seriously thought I was watching like autopsies. I thought that they had fucking found cadavers and just were using them as props because that shit is so real. But this is playful gore. It's not realistic. You can tell. It kind of reminds me of like Brawl in Cell Block 99. I know that movie gets some shit for its, especially that very, very last kill if you've seen the movie. That it's people, oh, it's so gross. But it's fun gore. This is fun gore. The stuff in Lowlife is not fun. It's hard to watch. I mean, I can watch it because I'm that kind of guy, but it's not fun. I don't laugh when I watch Lowlife. When I watched the gore in Lowlife, I was like, fuck, dude, Jesus. When I watch this kind of gore, it's not realistic. It looks good, though. It looks slightly realistic. But it's funny. It's funny because it's so fake, but it looks good, if that makes sense. So, yeah, I really commend the film for that. And I also am kind of curious on the whole, like, she's like, my phone was dead. Yes, she borrows her friend's phone, but then from there, when when she gets the text from her sister and Art grabs it, pretty sure that's her phone. It could still be her friend's phone. But then she texts her back and it says Tara above it, right? Yeah, it says Tara, I think, in the box, and she texts her back. So somehow she has juice now. Now, when you look at the bar, it does say that it's red, but she said her phone was dead. And if she was just going to call her from her friend's phone anyways, why didn't she call her earlier? Because she was being a bitch. I'm not saying she wasn't. It was just funny. I was kind of confused about the whole my phone's dead thing. But yeah, I like that Art texted her. I like that, I don't know, Art's definitely different than a lot of slashers I've seen in a lot of ways. That's one of them, that he will actually text them back. Even though he's a voiceless killer, I mean, like literally, I think, because when he gets shot or stabbed or whatever, he goes to scream out and he has no vocal response. So I'm assuming that he does not have the ability. And he kind of has like a makeup, like more of a mime than a clown. A traditional clown is more mimey, and mimes don't talk. So I would almost say he's Art the Mime. That would actually work better, I would assume, just as I said, makeup and his whole thing. But he definitely dresses like a clown, so I get why he's called a clown. But yeah, so he does that, and he also uses a gun, which I was just blown away the first. That's punny. Didn't mean that, but I was actually like, wow, shocked in that moment when he pulled a gun and shot her out of nowhere. He just had a gun on him and he shot her, and then he comes up, he shoots her once in the face, and she's laying there. He goes, he reloads, comes back, and he just fucking unloads the entire clip into her face, which is a great segment there of Gore and whatnot. But you never, ever, ever, I mean, Jason, Michael, none of those guys. Michael takes a gun and he shoves it through Kelly Meeker. He'll have a gun and he'll use it as a weapon, but he's not going to fire it. Like, that is, I don't know. Like, imagine Michael Myers pulling a gun out and shooting someone. Never going to fucking happen. I don't know. After what they did in the 2018 one, I don't know what the hell they're going to do. But yeah, Michael, Jason, Leatherface. Imagine Leatherface coming out with a shotgun. That'd actually be pretty badass. Freaking half, like the Gears of War freaking chainsaw gun. There you go. Give that to Leatherface, man. Holy shit. But yeah, so, he's definitely different. And he even commits suicide at the end as a way to get out. I don't know. We're going to talk about that here at the end. Let's get through this real quick. I don't have much else to say. But after Tara's killed, this movie slows down a good amount for like 10 minutes at least. I felt like it really kind of lost its steam. And then the new girl comes in, and I've heard a lot of complaints about this new girl because they pull a total Marion Crane here from Psycho, where they kill the lead actress like a little over halfway into the film, which is great. It's a risky move, and I love it. You don't get to see it much, and you always think like, this girl's gonna last the whole movie. Maybe she'll die in the last couple minutes, but they didn't do that here, and that's great because that raises the stakes. It's like, oh shit, she can die, then anyone can die. That's what's great about Game of Thrones. You never know who's gonna die and when. And I have her name written down somewhere here. I don't know what the hell I did with it. Dang it. But the sister, damn, it's somewhere. I'll find it. But the problem is as I said, I've heard complaints that she's not as interesting or not as good as Tara. And I disagree and agree at the same time. I disagree because I think she's a good actress. I think she's fine. She's very pretty, just like the other girl. Like, she's a comparable replacement. The problem is that she's not set up at all. And she really isn't then there set up from that point on either. She doesn't really have any moments to shine as far as a character. She's just kind of a replacement damsel. So I feel like if Tara lived, she would have done all the same things as this girl did and been just as good as her. So people comparing the two and saying, well, she's not as good as the other girl, I disagree in that capacity. But I agree, seeing as how I had more of a connection with that girl because they set her up as a character. We didn't get a setup with this girl. So I feel like there should have been an opening scene. Yes, I know Damien probably wanted to just get straight to the action. He knows slasher fans. He knows that they want kill, 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 scary, 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 fuck plot and character development and all this. I get that. But if they would have just had a moment where the sisters had some bonding, not the phone call. The phone call's not enough. Something previous to that. Just something to, give her some kind of character so that when she's introduced later on, the reason the Marion Crane thing worked is because Lila Loomis, or Lila Crane, the way she works, spoilers for Psycho 2, the reason she works is because they give her character development. She comes and she talks to Sam, and they, and they talk to the thing. There's a lot of dialogue, so she works as a character. This girl gets none. I mean, she barely says a word. When she gets to that place, she says almost nothing until the very end of the movie. That's tough, man. That's a tough sell. So I think that's why it slows down. It slows down because your main character just died. Now you're just kind of being thrown onto this new character that has no dialogue, no interaction. She could have stopped somewhere, talked to somebody, had something to make us care about her outside of her just being attractive or feeling empathy for her because her sister just died. Something. So that's my only real complaints with the film. And as I said, I understand where people are coming from, but I disagree with what they're saying. So I think the actress did a fine job. I just don't feel like she was given enough. So there you go. Anyway. And I love this whole Art the Clown cuts the fucking skin off and does the whole Buffalo Bill skin suit thing. The way he walks is very, very creepy. Love it. Just love it. It's just so awkward and off-putting. I dig the shit out of it. And then the whole head decapitation, the sawing in the neck and all that, sticks it in here to hold it and brings it back and slices through, and the head comes in and puts it on the ground, kicks it. That was great. What a great... The kills in this movie it's everything. I mean, it's a slasher movie. A slasher movie without great kills is not a good slasher movie. Okay? Even if it's a good movie that happens to be a slasher and the kills suck, then it's a good horror movie, but it's not a good slasher. A slasher needs slashing. So Happy Death Day, which I really enjoyed, is not a good slasher movie. It's a fun horror comedy, but it's not a good slasher movie. So this is a great slasher movie because it does some really good things as a film. Not great things, and it's not a masterpiece by any means. I'm not going to sit here and say it is. It's a low budget, movie with very little plot and whatnot, so I can't give it high marks in every single area. But as a slasher, and a slasher has some requirements here, you get nudity from hot chicks, you got that. You got fucking a really killer, scary, intimidating killer. You've got great kills. You've got, shocking demise of a final girl. You got lots of cool elements from a slasher movie. So as a slasher movie, it's great. And oh man, one thing that this girl does. Where the fuck did I write her name down? Damn it. I'm so mad that I see Marion Crane here. I wrote that. I didn't write Marion Crane. I went just Marion, but God damn it, man. Should have developed Victoria. There it is. Son of a bitch. Okay, so Victoria, I'm back on track. Victoria. One thing she does in this is two, I guess. One thing she does in this that's fan-fucking-tastic. And something I'm screaming at the fucking scream. Screaming at the screen is when the bag is put over their head and they're trying to grasp at the killer and get at the bag and rip at the bag. Here, open your mouth and rip it apart. Thank you, Victoria. Thank you for doing that. And the way Art looks at it, like, motherfucker. It's almost as if he is a killer in multiple other films where no one's ever done that, or he's seen it done 1,000 times like myself, and looks at it like, no one's ever done that before. Son of a bitch. Like, I thought this was infallible. That's the look he has on his face, like, I guess this isn't the greatest tool to kill somebody with. As soon as she points that flaw out in it, he's like, this kind of sucks. I don't know. It's a great moment. Thank you, Victoria. Thank you, Damien, for fucking writing and shooting that scene. God, it drives me crazy when I see it in movies. Just poke a fucking hole in your mouth. Ugh. And that she doesn't just poke a hole, man. She rips the whole damn bag apart, which is great. And then he just flips her off. I love that too. His reaction is just like, fuck you then. Oh, that's great. Then this guy comes in and knocks Art on the ground and leaves and goes and calls the cops. What the fuck? This guy is an exterminator Okay? Where's the irony here? This guy is an exterminator who does not exterminate. He was hired to come in and clean up the infestation. Okay? He was there to clean up the vermin. That guy's fired. Okay? He's fucking fired. I'm glad he smashed his head in. When you got the killer on the ground, he should have smashed Art's head in. It's almost like I feel like Art was showing him what he should have done to him. Like, let me show you what your reaction should have been here. He deserves it. Go call the cops. At least get out of the fucking building. You're going to stay in the building. Well, you think a little tap on the back of the fucking head's going to work? So dumb. Yeah, Lord. Yeah, I already said all that. Then comes in, hits her with the truck, and blows his own head off. For a minute there on this rewatch, I was like, maybe it's fake. Maybe. But the whole bag of his head's open, blood's pouring out of his nose and his eye sockets. I don't think anybody could fake that. But then there's an electrical surge in the joint, which I almost feel like is his resurrection, you know? Don't think of like morgues and resurrection, though. We were already talking about Halloween earlier, but we ain't talking about that movie. Oh my God. Which is kind of funny because it ends with a resurrection. Ooh. All right. But anyway, this one, let's talk about this fucking resurrection. It does. It feels like the lighting is his resurrection. It's like his soul coming back and entering his body. So I think that's something that maybe he was playing with there. I'm sure it was just ambiance and atmosphere, tension and moments. But I don't know. The flickering of the lights had me thinking, like, is this trying to say that that's his soul returning to his body? Because he just so willingly blows his own head off with, obviously has the ability to come back to life, to resurrect himself. But anyway, guys, all right. I think I'm done talking about this one. What a fun time. I have minor gripes with it, but overall, great slasher of the year. Probably the best slasher of 2018, I would have to say. So anyway, all right, Monster Monday. I'm doing another rewatch tomorrow. Best monster movie of the year. If you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. See you then.